So I just did the Marc Jacobs Remedy Concealer Pen review, first impression video. So now I'm going to do the first impressions and review video of the Marc Jacobs Remarkable Full Coverage Concealer. And it comes in this little pot. Has 4.85 grams of products. Basically about 0.17 ounce. And it says erase, conceal, and perfect. And I did a Marc Jacobs liquid foundation review, first impression reviews not too long ago, so if you want to see that video, you can check that one out. And then I just finished reviewing or doing the first impression review on the Marc Jacobs Remedy Concealer Pen. And I forgot to mention that the concealer pen has 0.08 fluid ounce in it. I don't remember the retail price for this, but I think it's probably around the 30s as well, because this is, I think it's $39. So I think this is probably $35 or something, or 32 or 35. I'll link the Sephora website for this product down below, so you can check out the price and as well as the other shades. So this comes in a really nice, neat little pot. So it's a cream pot concealer, and it's in a really nice, like, flat glass jar. It has his signature black and silver kind of band packaging. You can see the products in the back, which is pretty cool. And I got this in the shade number 3 Young. I believe there are 8 shades in total for this concealer. I think so. Don't remember that clearly. But anyways, I picked up this one because it's more of a kind of a beigey color, and I feel like it kind of matches the Marc Jacobs liquid foundation that I got. So yeah, so when you open it up, it almost looks like one of those, like a cream pot, you know, eyeshadow cream pot. So it has a plastic lid on top of it to keep it, like, I guess, airtight and fresh. Because maybe some with these kind of cream pot, like cream products in the pot, sometimes it can like get dried up and quickly. So maybe they use the like a sealer cover. So this shade is in number 3 Young. It's kind of like a beigey color, but it also looks salmony in the pot. But when I swatched it in the store, it actually looks more of having a yellow tone, but I don't know why it looks kind of reddish here. It looks more like a salmony color. So I guess it would be great for under eye, but I already applied the Remedy concealer pen on my under eye area, so I'm not gonna put anything on my under eye. So I'm going to apply this on these acne marks, redness areas, dark spots, unevenness, and whatever. Pretty much using this to conceal almost the entire of my face. But let me just show you first. I'm going to use the Sigma Precision Round P82 brush. So it's kind of like pretty stiff synthetic round top concealer brush or face brush, whatever you want to say it. So I like to kind of sometimes use my finger to apply concealer, and sometimes I like to use a pen, or sometimes I like to use the e.l.f. Flawless Concealer Brush, which is a little bit more fluffier and softer for a more like airbrush kind of look. But this gives them a little bit more dense, concentrated, you know, finish. So I'm going to use this to kind of spot conceal first. Since this brush is really dense, it gives a more of a kind of more concentrated and full coverage. That's why I'm using this to spot conceal. And as you can see, it literally just like covered up the redness and the yeah, it definitely covers up the redness. Like this one right here. It does look like it can be it's a pretty full coverage concealer. And it's funny because the color looks kind of like salmony color in the pot, but like I said, when I swatch it in the store, it actually looks like the foundation I have, which is kind of like a beigey color with a little bit yellow undertone. So I'm just going to apply this also underneath my brow bone to kind of clean up that area. And I also have a little acne mark there, a little bit redness. But yeah, I think this is a pretty nice full coverage concealer that you can use to clean up your eyebrow, your under eye, your eyebrow, like underneath your eyebrow, as you can see. That's pretty nice. Redness around my nose. It does feel like a full coverage concealer. I feel like this is quite similar to the NYX full coverage concealer that also comes in the pot, but it's like a classic, it's like a plastic jar. But the NYX full coverage concealer, once I apply it, it can start to look a little bit cakey after a couple hours. Like I was using that yesterday, and I should do a foundation, maybe I should do a concealer review on the NYX full coverage concealer as well as the HD full coverage concealer that's in a like a cream, it's in a cream formula with a doe foot applicator in a tube. I really like that one. But the one in the full coverage one, maybe I should do some, yeah, probably I would do the review on the NYX concealers after this, so I can kind of compare them, because I do use the NYX HD concealer for spot conceal and sometimes under eye, and then I also use a full coverage concealer which is similar to this to spot conceal as well. So I think those two products can really kind of go like head to head, like in a versus like kind of in a match product smackdown video. But as you can see, this is quite full coverage, and I just use a little bit. As you can see, I literally just tap the brushing side to pick up the product, and then I can cover up some of the, I'm almost just concealing my whole face, I feel like. Because sometimes, like, when you don't want to use foundations, I think concealer is pretty good if you can get a concealer that matches your skin tone and can still do the coverage. Then you can kind of use that you can kind of use that instead of a full, like a foundation, and then you can just set it with a translucent powder. I actually feel like that's a little bit more natural. The color matching on the Marc Jacobs foundation concealer line, I think it's pretty dead on. I'm quite happy. I think maybe one of the reasons why I like it is because it has pretty good color matching. Yeah, so it looks like it definitely covered up the red spots. Like I had that really big one here, and then a few over here, and then one over here. So it looks like it kind of definitely covered up. So I went ahead off the camera to kind of apply this all over my face just to see the coverage. And as you can see, I think this is a pretty dead on full coverage foundation, and I think that it's good to spot conceal. I don't recommend to use this all over your face like I did, because it can look quite heavy. Well, I mean, it doesn't look that heavy, but I feel like it can kind of settle into certain spots a little bit. And I don't recommend layering this concealer. Like, if you just apply once, try not to layer another layer or something to get more like coverage, because it can look a bit heavy and yeah, just look a little bit heavy and unnatural. But I think this is a really cool like full coverage concealer to go to, you know, spot conceal like some stubborn spots or like really severe red spots and whatever on top of a foundation. So I think that this is a pretty good concealer to go with the Marc Jacobs liquid foundation. I feel like if you have certain areas that your foundation can't get the job done, then you can always go back to something like this with a full coverage concealer to spot conceal, but try not to overdo it, because full coverage concealer, when you overlay it, do a couple layers, it can look really heavy and cakey. So just keep that in mind. But compare the Marc Jacobs one to the NYX full coverage concealer. So this is the NYX full coverage concealer. It's also in a jar, quite similar, right? And I got this in the shade beige. It's actually really similar. But I noticed that this is also a really good full coverage concealer, but except that this texture is a little bit drier than this. So if I use too much of this, I can look instantly cakey, and then throughout the day it can kind of separate on my face. Even though this is a full coverage concealer, I think it still looks really natural after I apply it all over my face. I feel like it just gives a little bit more of a matte finish. I feel like if I apply this all over my face as sort of like a foundation, I will probably use the e.l.f. Flawless concealer brush, which has a much fluffier and less dense, so it'll give me more of an airbrush look. But if I'm using this to spot conceal, I will probably use the Sigma brush, or maybe I will use it even like a pencil brush or something, like a really fine pointed concealer brush to like dab just a little bit on and then kind of just melt the products in with my finger. Price, it is kind of pricey, but I think that it's kind of worth it. I do like a full coverage concealer because I don't really use full coverage foundation, and sometimes I don't like to wear foundation at all, even though now I've been using a lot of foundation. But when I don't want to wear foundation, I would like to have a nice full coverage concealer that can still look natural, so it can help me to kind of camouflage or, you know, conceal some stubborn spots. As you could see, like before, I had some here. Is the coverage buildable? I think not really, because I feel like once you dab the product in, it kind of conceals instantly. But if you try to layer on another layer and then you try to kind of buff it out, it actually kind of erases the first layer and then makes the whatever underneath show again. If you want something similar but without breaking your bank, I would recommend the NYX Above and Beyond Full Coverage Concealer. You can get this from Ulta or Target or NYX, I think NYXcosmetics.com or NYX.com. I think this is about $5.99 or $6.99, which is a lot, and this has 0.24 ounce, whereas this only have 0.17 ounce. So if you want something similar, then you can definitely get this. I would recommend the NYX one. But if you want something that's kind of more luxurious and gives you more of a natural finish, but still has that full coverage kind of effect, then you can check out the Marc Jacobs Remarkable Full Cover Concealer. And then also, if you don't want something like this, you want something more of a liquidy cream form, I would recommend the NYX HD Photogenic Concealer. This has 0.11 ounce, which is a bit less than this. but more than the Remedy concealer pen form. And then this is also about $5.99 or maybe $7.99 or $6.99, something less than $10 basically. And this also gives a full coverage effect. Gets rid of your under eye and acne spots or scars, anything like that. So if you want to see I guess a review video of these two products, I can do them separately in a separate video. I can show you how they work, but I would say they're quite similar to these two products. So yeah, but it's just a much cheaper dupe. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.